Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jeremycrazy30 Indy in WWE 2K25. As we're going to be doing basically all the episodes leading up to Battle Rights. And so I added a couple of superstars that I kind of found within the first 30. So I went to like the next 15. They take forever to load. It may be faster on console, but I bought this game on PC, so that may be the factor of why it's taking so long. And overall, I found Kommander and BDE, Brandon Collins. So I found one of them, and like I mentioned before, because they are downloaded, I will give the creator credit down below in the description area of these superstars that I am using, because they deserve the credit. They made the character, they put in the time, put in the moveset, all that jazz. So the fact that I downloaded it, I will give them credit to what credit is due. So as we get into the show, I'll be simulating the matches and stuff that are involved here. So first draw, simulating all the matches. So Jey Uso won against Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate won, which was the New Catch Republic, I think, at the time. They're obviously not that anymore. CM Punk won. Dirty Dom lost. And then Becky Lynch lost. So that is that show. Move into the next show. I think I'm just going to, now that I know this is going to take forever, we're just going to simulate them, move to the next one. And Oro's still in it. He shouldn't be. And Cora Jade's still in it. So there may be some things that need to be fixed, because Wesley is still in it too as well. And Duke Hudson. So I may have, need to fix that. So I will, as we're creating this episode, I will fix it right now. So it was Wesley. It's also on NXT. So we're going to take him off of that. He's no longer there. And it was Oro, which he's off. So it may be just having to simulate it out, because he's off on that. So I caught one, and then Cora Jade is now off, so now there's that. Duke Hudson is on, so just trying to make it realistic as possible. There could be some other people that will probably catch, or it's just overall, it's a simulator, so things will happen. Oh, shoot. I wanted those things to Aura's off, and then it was Duke Hudson and Cora Jade to begin with. So, and it could be that it was already pre-saved on, the first episode, so it will take time for it. So tonight's show is Sin Cara, Aiden Sky, 1-on-1. Then it's a fatal 4-way with Cora Jade, Isla Dawn, Gigi Dolan, Shotzi. Then, your famous Swoggle versus Cedric Alexander, Wesley, Oro, and Ralph. And then there's a promo of Elektra Lopez, Indy Hartwell with Candice LeRae. I mean, I guess there's going to be things on here because they are, managers or whatnot. So, we're going to... I could start the show and see what the promo does and everything, or I could just, simulate it. I'm just going to simulate it. So everything is simulated. So Aiden Sky got... So... Okay, and then we'll look at the news. So, Aiden Sky won. Shotzi won against Gigi, Isla, and Cora. I think this started a rivalry between Cedric and Swoggle. Wesley won against Oro and Ralph. Lecter Lopez started something. Indy Hartwell won over Tegan Knox. And Sonya Deville won over Dakota Kai. So we're going to look at the news here. So week 1, Elektra Lopez took to the ring to address the audience tonight, making a tremendous promise for her next match. She's declared that she'll win her next match in a show of dominance, and now all eyes are watching to see if she'll fulfill her own challenge. And then Giovanni Vinci appeared on stage to applaud Swoggle for a strong showing in his match, delivering a show of respect for his competitive rival. So we don't know the rivalry of Lopez, but we know that Vinci and Swoggle are rivals right now. Historical stats. Okay, that is just other stuff. Move on to the next show, which is SmackDown. Simulate everything. So then Jade, that's Tangaloa, 5 Chelsea Green, Solo. So that's all worried about. And then it's Backlash in France. Simulate all matches. Gunther won. Liv lost. Judgment Day. So the Bloodline won. Braun Breaker won. Nia won. Bianca, Naomi kept the titles, and then Cody Rhodes kept his title. So next show, she'll bring back to Raw. J.D. McDonald. So Gunther won. Sami Zayn won against CM Punk. Bronson Reed won against Seth. Io Sky, Roxanne, and Liv over Rhea. So then NXT, got Trick, Ethan, Javon. We are simulating everything. So then Ethan won. Kalani Jordan won against JC Jane. Oba won against Lexus King. Sean Spears lost to Noam Dar. And Nakia Lyons won the belts. Or kept the belt. So. Alright. So. We only have 2 things in news so far. So we have Wesley against Sin Cara. Lopez and Scarlett. And Lopez has Santos Escobar. And Paul and Carrion are in her corner. Vinci against Swoggle. Cedric against Kommander. Indy Hartwell against Cora Jade. Davenport against Shotzi. And the mid title on the line for Oro, Aiden, and Ralph. Alright, so that's the first title match overall. So, Wesley won against Sin Cara. Lopez won against Scarlett. Vinci won against Swoggle. Kommander won against Alexander. Cora Jade won against Indy. Shotzi won over Blair. And our first overall champion, even though it's a mid-championship, is Aiden Sky. So, we're going to look at rivalries. Okay, so there's none there. There's 2 there, which is Kalani, Jordan, and Jane. Spears and Dar, and then Gunther and Mysterio, Liv and Becky. Past rivalries. So, Bloodline won against that. Lopez won against Scarlett. That was only like a 2-week rivalry. This was only a 2-week rivalry, which I think kind of boosted up Vinci for a title match of some sort. Okay. So, news here. So, Aiden Sky has won the mid. Defeats Swoggle on the big stage after intense back and forth for weeks, which it's only been 2, and has earned a higher placement in championship rankings. Expect to see the superstar in championship pictures soon. It remains to see if Scarlett will be able to recover their standing. So, then Lopez has followed through on her words to decisively win her match while barely getting hurt. There's no denying she's separated herself from the competition and is headed for the top. So, we're going to back away from that, and we are going to see kind of the rankings here within the 2 weeks. So, divisions, nothing so far. I think it's been the mid that's been simulated right now. Women, so Shotzi, Lopez, Cora, Indy, okay, and nothing for tag team as of right now. And women's tag, nothing really. Okay, so since Aiden Sky has it, Kommander boosted up because he won against I think he won against Aiden, but Oro's the number 1. Kommander, Vinci's up there. Ralph went down. Sin Cara went down. This was Kommander versus Sin Cara. At this point, we're just moving on, just kind of seeing the rankings, and that is it for that. We'll get the save on that. The way everything is saved. So that was... Oh, Sin Cara lost to Wesley, so that's what happened. So, next show. Going to SmackDown. Simulate all matches. So, Jade with Tiffany. Tiffany won. Zelina won against Chelsea. Charlotte Flair won against Niven. Tamatonga won against Frazier. Cody Rhodes won against Solo and Orton. So we're on to the next show. Raw. So there's all matches. So starting off, Gunther wins against Dom. Ivar Eric wins against LWO's Jaquan Wild and Cruz del Toro. Probably butchered Jaquan or Jaquin. Rhea Ripley beats Roxanne. Jey Uso won against Bronson Reed. And then Becky won against Liv in main event. Then we got NXT with Lonnie Jordan and JC Jane. That was a promo. And then you got Thea Hale winning against Sol Ruka. Jada Parker falling to Fallon Henley. Kida Lyons lost to Lola Vice, and Sean Spears lost to Javon Evans. So, I don't remember having Io Sky on our show, but anyway, Dakota Kai with Io Sky, known as Damage Control at the time, will face Blair Davenport and Indy Hartwell, and Dakota Kai won. And then Sonya Deville lost to Blair Davenport, so Davenport rebounded herself and won. Then a triple threat of Tegan Knox winning against Indy Hartwell and Cora Jade. And then Carlito won against Tyler Breeze as he brings the Judgment Day, I guess. Since he's still kind of part of it. And then we got Gigi Dolan losing to Scarlett with Paul in her corner. Katana Chance with Alba Fire. I am so confused right now of superstars that are not even on the roster that are showing up on here. And then we have the debut and also a tag championship. A debut of the Tortures of Demon Slayer and Chuckles winning against Authors of Pain with Paul and Scarlett in their corner. So let's look at the news. And we have Isla Dawn Alba Fire from a vicious I guess since they're still tag team and they're still part of that she shows up. But Isla Dawn saved Alba Fire from a vicious assault by Katana Chance and Kenny Carter, one that could have shelled her partner. The rivals are willing to cross the line and shorten corners, all just so they can decisively beat them for better match opportunities. And Lopez and Shotzi appeared on stage to applaud Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the recent performances last week. Mutual respect could be forming between these two teams as they are poised to face each other, promising the best in competitive sportsmanship both sides. So that is the latest within news. Going to the next show, so we have Aiden Sky winning the mid, and there's LaDawn. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. Yep, she's scheduled for my show and not there, but I think this was all, predetermined, and maybe the game is broken of like, hey, she's not part of SmackDown anymore. But anyway. They lost to Bianca and Tiffany. Piper Niven beat Charlotte. Candice LeRae beat Nia Jax. And Tamatonga Tungaloa lost to Roman Reigns and Kit Wilson. And then Solo Sikoa won against Cody Rhodes. So then we have Gunther and Sammy starting off, and then the Creed brothers lost to JD McDonough and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. CM Punk lost to Seth Rollins. Bronson Reed lost to Jey Uso, and Becky Lynch won against Raquel Rodriguez. We move on to NXT, where Ethan Page and Trick Williams started off, and Ethan Page wins. Tatum Paxley wins against JC Jane. Sean Spears wins against Noam Dar. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson defeats Fallon Henley and Thea Hale, and Oba Femi defeats Javon Evans, not Lewis. So we have Shotzi and Io Sky. So I guess with Damage Control still being together, that they come on. So that it makes sense. So Shotzi lost to Io Sky. Then we have Cedric winning against Aiden Sky and Ralph. Carl Anderson beats Gallius of... Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers, beats Gallius of Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. Carlito beats Joe Coffey. Sonya Deville defeats Indy Hartwell. Sonya Deville also beats or brings in Fatal Influence, or no, not Fatal Influence, the Collective, whatever that team was. It was for a short stint. The Collective of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark too as well. Wesley and Oro go at it, with Wesley win, and the main event was a Isla Dawn winning against Caden Carter. I guess I can't say properly today. Recording this. So Io Sky overcame a vicious and underhanded plan of Shotzi and Elektra Lopez to win the match, despite the referee getting knocked out and a steel chair being introduced into the match while the official was down. There is no doubt the two superstars intended to use the chair after the match, but Io Sky saved herself from an unfortunate situation and foiled her rivalry's intentions. Alright, so that's that one. Isla Dawn persevered to win her match despite a ruthless attack by Kaden Carter. Isla Dawn looked hurt as she left the ring after the match, but has avoided serious injury and will make a quick recovery. There's no telling how far Kaden Carter would have taken the assault if she had won instead. Alright. So it seems like some vicious things are happening with the indie promotion. So we start off with Randy and Solo. And then a second match of Candice LeRae beating Charlotte. Bianca and Chelsea beat Elba Fire and Isla Dawn. And then Axiom or Fraxium loses to the bloodline of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And Nia Jax beats Jade Cargill. Then we got King of the Ring / Queen of the Ring. So we got Roxanne Perez losing to Bayley to become the Queen of the Ring, maybe. Natalya versus Raquel. So Natalya moves on. Then Charlotte Flair wins. Piper Niven wins. Bayley wins. Natalya, Piper Niven wins. And Bayley becomes the Queen of the Ring. And then we have... Yes, so Bayley became Queen of the Ring. So we got Dragon Lee that won against Jey Uso. Sami Zayn won against Chad. Roman Reigns beat Carmelo. Jacob Fatu beat The Miz. So then it was Dragon Lee against Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn won. Roman beat Fatu. And Roman beat Sami Zayn. So then we have the Raw after Queen and King of the Ring. So we got Bronson Reed winning against Sami Zayn. Becky Lynch was had a promo. Kerosene Asuka beat Damage Control, beat Zoe Stark and Shayna. Braun Breaker beat Dragon and Ludwig. Dirty Dom won against Seth Rollins. So we got Javon Evans, Trick Williams starting off. Evans wins. They were known as a family, so D'Angelo and Lorenzo. And they beat Chase U. Spears lost to Dar. Legend and Jackson lost to Henley and Paxley. JC Jane lost to Solruka. And then it is our show. So we got Shotzi and Lopez against Kai and Io Sky. Simulate. Go to Kai, Io Sky. Won against Shotzi and Lopez. Authors of Pain beat Mark Coffey and Wolfgang Gallius. Scarlett won against Blair Davenport. Kommander beat Giovanni Vinci. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows lost to the Tortures of Chuckles and Demon Slayer. Wesley beat Cedric Alexander. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance beat Elba Fire and Isla Dawn. Got any news? We do. Dakota Kai and Io Sky get their revenge after rushing down their rivals with a fierce attack before the start of the match. Shotzi and Lopez got what they deserved, but things are expected to get more heated from here on until new tag champions are crowned. Elba Fire and Isla Dawn scored an important win over Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, putting their opponents a step behind and disrupting their cohesion. So, it's going to shake things up for the tag team. So we got Jimmy Uso losing to Late Night. Fatu wins over The Miz. Tamatonga wins over Frazier. Green beats Vega, and Cargill gets her revenge on Jax. Sorry if I'm kind of going quick, but I'm more focused on my roster and not the rest of the WWE, as eventually maybe my superstars will, go on to their shows. So, we got Punk over Dirty Dom. Rey Mysterio won against Breaker, Styles, and Ludwig. Jey Uso won against Seth. Sami Zayn won against Reed. And Lynch won against Morgan. Go to NXT. Got Chu and Jane. Jane took over for the win. Promo of Spears over Briggs. Third match of Femi over Dempsey. Stacks over Williams in a match. And main event Ethan Page over Javon Evans. And we got two new debuts of Breeze and Danger to start off the show. Danger wins over Breeze. Carlito with his Judgment Day gang wins over Karrion Kross. Scarlett, Jade, Nox, and Gigi Dolan were in a fatal four-way, with Nox winning. Elba Fire beats Kaden Carter. Indy Hartwell wins over Blair Davenport. And Ace Caveman beats Joe Coffey and Brody Hunter. In our main event of Dakota Kai and Elektra Lopez. Dakota Kai winning. Alright, so Katana Chance saved Kaden Carter from a vicious assault by Elba Fire and Isla Dawn. Could have shelved her tag team partner, so kind of what happens previously. Yeah. So, it happened in May. So, too big. Oh, I didn't read the other news article, but we'll go back to it. So we got draw no contest, so Axiom and Loa draw. Stratton beats Niven. Elva Fire is Ladon wins over Bianca and Candace. Pretty Deadly wins over DIY. And draw no contest of Cargill and Jax. Then we go to NXT Battleground. So we got Charlie Dempsey winning the North American Championship. Jordan wins over JC Jane. Last Legend and Jackson lose to Thea Hale and Jada Parker. Paxley loses to Henley. Spears loses to Dar. And Femi wins over Page to either keep or Ethan Page loses the title. But Henley wins the North American Women's. So 3 title matches. Go to Raw. CM Punk and Gunther. CM Punk wins over Gunther. Io Sky wins over Perez. Bronson Reed over Seth Rollins over Bronson Reed. Dragon Lee over Breaker. Morgan over Ripley. We have NXT. Where we got Jordan over Paxley for a promo. Legend Jackson over Chu and Vice. Then we got Thea Hale versus Lyons. Ruka over Parker. And Ethan Page over Spears and Trick Williams to end the night. Now we got Carlito over Chris Danger. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson lose to Authors of Pain. Tegan Knox wins over Scarlett. So I think the Final Testament is in this promotion, since I have Scarlett in all of them. So I think the whole Final Testament is part of the group right now. So we got Shotzi winning over Io Sky. Brandon Collins making his debut, and he wins over Ace Caveman. Elba Fire over Caden Carter. And for the actual championship, the Jeremycrazy30 Indy Championship, Joe Coffey wins it against Baron Corbin. Now, overall, I know I've mentioned in the last episode of, people could go back to the NXT and stuff. I was only kind of making this for the custom people that I make. So I've made only a few. So Aiden Sky I made, Ace Caveman, Brody Hunter, the tag team of the Tortures that have the tag titles right now, Aiden Sky that has the mid championship, but he'll eventually will have to learn or earn his way to the main championship where Coffee has right now. And then that's about it. There's about like 4 or 5 of them. So it's those guys that have to kind of earn their way to make it to like kind of the main. They're like on the main roster for my indie show, but to make it up and then go to NXT and work their way up. So these wrestlers, as you could say, through WWE, they'll stay on my indie promotion and continue to do what they do best. So just trying to clarify kind of midway through my episode right now, because we probably got quite a few shows left to do. But it's kind of just for the CPU superstars. So, Jax over Cargill, Flair over Niven, Luray, and Stratton. Then we got Axiom, won against Tunga, and Pretty Deadly lost to DIY, and Cody Rhodes over Damian Priest. Then we got Clash at the Castle, Io Sky against Ripley, which Ripley won. So she has the title. Becky Lynch won over Morgan. Nia Jax over Cargill. Bianca and Naomi won over Kabuki Warriors. Bloodline, Tamatunga, and Loa beat Axiom Fraxium. Judgment Day lost to the Viking Raiders. And Dirty Dom won the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. So we're back to Raw. Similarly, Fatal 4-Way. CM Punk won against Gunther, Zayn, and Reed. Balor won against Ivar. Kabuki Warriors won over Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Braun and Gable won against Grayson Waller and Theory. And Jey Uso won against Seth Rollins. Now we're going to NXT. The D'Angelo Lorenzo against Chase U. So Chase U won against the family. Paxley won over Jada Parker. The Hill Jada Parker won over Soul Ruka and Wendy Chu. Kid Alliance won over Vice. And Jackson won over Jane. So this is the last part of the video. So I guess towards the end that I made a disclaimer that it was for the custom made people. So Isla Dawn beats Caden Carter. Then we got Brody Hunter beating Breeze and Collins. Then you got Tegan Knox beating Scarlett. Carlito beating Joe Coffey. Lopez and Shotzi lost to Indy and Blair. Corbin won against Ace Caveman. Our main event, Chris Danger beat Karrion Kross. And we'll do the SmackDown and then load up the battle rights. And that's the end of the video. So, mystery opponent for the promo, Drew McIntyre, won. Candice LeRae beat Nia Jax. Jacob Fatu beat LA Knight. Tiffany Stratton beat Cargill, and Reigns beat Orton. So, alright, so we got 5 matches there. So, kind of seeing for it, but we're going to kind of read the news that we're kind of falling behind here. So, overall, the last one was this one. So then this one, Dakota Kai rushed down to Lopez before she could finish her entrance into the match, not waiting for the bell before taking flight to her rival. And then she blindsided Shotzi with a ruthless attack before the match could start. Kai's intentions were clear that she would strike when least expected to crush her rival. And then we got Alba Fire led a brutal breakdown on Kaden Carter after taking a win over her, with Isla Dawn and Indy Hartwell joining in the attack. This team's vicious side has become an even bigger threat as they move to dominate their tag rivals through force and numbers. And then Joe Coffey won Jeremycrazy30 title. And it's just been back and forth with Alba Fire Isla Dawn and Dakota Kai and Io Sky. They've been making the news. Isla Dawn led Brutal, Kenny Carter, Cora Jade, Alba Fire and Cora joining the attack. This team's vicious, even bigger. And with this, charge into their championship rivals, Lopez and Shotzi with an aggressive attack. This team is hungry for the gold and willing to do anything and not let this big opportunity slip through their fingers. Alright, so you can see it from here. Okay, so power rankings. So number 1 is Wes Lee. Number 2 is Indy Hartwell. Number 3 is Aiden Sky. Number 4 is Chris Danger and Blair Davenport. And everyone else their attribute. So it goes until the top 10, and then everyone after that doesn't gain any attributes at all. Okay, good to know. So the roster, superstars, also rivalries. So we got on Raw, very high on the Judgment Day against the War Raiders. Gable and Breaker at medium. Then Tuesday is Jordan and Paxley with JC Jane Henley against Lash Legend and Cara Jackson. Wednesday we have the tag teams that are very high and they're equal to each other with Shotzi Lopez against Dakota Kai and Io Sky. So Damage Control and tag team that was made. And then this is Alba Fire, that is a tag team, or that was a tag team before they got split, against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And then in SmackDown, it is Solo and Cody and LeRae and Jax. The past rivalries have been Fraxium, Bloodline. We know that these two we know with Scarlett and Lopez, Swoggle and Vinci, Jane and Jordan, Dar and Spears, Lynch and Morgan, Cargill and Jax, and then Fraxium and Bloodline had it again that ended in June, and then Dominic Mysterio, the champion right now, won with Gunther. So why can't I look at championships? So teams right now. So I guess since we do have Dakota Kai, I could delete it. But that's why probably they're added onto it. Final Testament, I have everybody, so I'm not going to delete that. Gallius, I have everybody. So Joe Coffey has the main championship, Judgment Day, so Carlito, so everyone will be joining from there, unless if I delete, Carlito from it. The Good Brothers, Phantasma, that's why Santos Escobar came for Lopez. Okay. Metaphor, Oro, so that makes sense. Perfusion Collective, that's what they were. I know Fatal Influence is a tag team right now, and so that's what kind of got me thinking of that. I think it's JC Jane, Henley and Laney Reed. That is the fatal influence right now in NXT. That's who I was thinking of when it came to that. And then we got the tag champs of the Tortures, the Unholy Union. So that's them. And that is it for tag teams that I probably have, and that's why people are coming in and out with it, which is fine. I'm not deleting anybody from anything else. I could, but I'm not going to. And that is that. So this is part of Battle Rights. So with all that, it's going to adjust the overall power rankings here. So Wesley being number 1 right now, even though he doesn't have a championship. Aiden Sky has a championship right now. And Joe Coffey has a championship right now, with him being at a 10. And then the one half of the Tortures is and the other half, so 19 and 21. Dakota Kai, Lopez. I'm surprised they're not even up higher with how much their storyline is being involved, especially Isla Dawn too as well, and then Caden Carter. So overall, again, the pushes that they need, hopefully, making the money that they should. And the next video will be Battle Rights. That'll probably be the only part of the video, and then moves on to the next long video of up until the next PLE, and then just the PLE, and then doing it again until the next one, and it just keeps going and going. So overall, hopefully you enjoy this video, and hopefully you have a good one at wherever you're at, and have a good one.